Hey guys, Doitonadime here. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a raised bed garden. This is perfect for any yard. When I posted my other garden update video, a lot of you guys were requesting to see how to make square foot gardening work for you. So if you're interested in building things, if you're interested in gardening, this video is definitely for you. And if this is not your bag, I totally understand. But stay tuned if you want to find out how to build a simple garden, save a bunch of money, and have the perfect soil. So check it out. So all of these supplies and tools and the way to build this box I got from a book called All New Square Foot Gardening by Mel Bartholomew, and I'm going to put a link in the description below. So you'll be able to find all of these supplies at your local hardware store for about $20. You need 2x6 untreated lumber that's 4 foot long, wood screws, lattice strips, machine bolts, and wheat barrier. So we're going to go ahead and get started and build the base of the box.
So you start with 3 evenly spaced holes, measure them out about 3/4 of an inch in. So I marked all 4 pieces, and now I'm going to drill pilot holes for the screws. So you line up your box roughly in the square like it's going to be. And with the holes you drilled in, you want to have them butted up against the bottom of the other piece of wood, so it's like that all the way around. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to start screwing these in. Alright, so these are going to head in here and screw into the bottom of this. So I screwed in the 12 screws. As you can see, it's now a square. You'll notice it's not going to be perfectly level, just with the type of lumber you buy and the way it's cut, it's not going to be. It'll settle down a little bit, but I wouldn't worry too much about it if it's not perfect. So for the next step, scissors and a staple gun. Alright, so what we're going to do is lay out the weed barrier cloth. And this is just going to be a rough estimate to get how long it's going to be. Then you're cutting it. This is to line the bottom to make sure weeds don't grow up through it. And then you're just gonna use your staple gun. I like to start by securing the corners. You know, pull it tight, not too tight, but again, this is gonna be on the bottom of your box, so it's not gonna have to be perfect by any stretch of the imagination. And then I'm just gonna go along and put some extra ones in to secure it, and do one more kind of doubling up in the middle to cover it up.
This is what the new one looks like put into place. So if you're going to be having these boxes, just make sure that they're like 24 inches or so apart, so they've got plenty of room for drainage and stuff.
So for one box you need 8 cubic feet of stuff. A third of it is going to be compost. We've got cow compost and mushroom compost. A third of it's vermiculite, which you can get at most gardening stores. That's really fluffy minerals that absorbs a lot of water. And a third of it's peat moss. Same thing, it's good organics and it absorbs a lot of water.
How much does all this cost?
Trying to remember, maybe another 30 bucks or so.
For all the stuff?
For all the stuff. And,
okay.
But once you get the box set up, all you need is a little compost every time you plant a new plant. So
yeah, this is like the initial investment. So now Charlie is just going to mix all of this on the tarp, starting with the compost and the peat moss and the vermiculite, and dumping them all in. He's just going to use the tarp to be able to mix it up. So you do need some muscle power behind this. So then, using a wheelbarrow, we brought each part over bit by bit, putting it down layer by layer and spraying it with the hose, and then spreading it out inside of the garden bed.
Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to build a little grid that goes across that marks out the square foot plots. What we're going to use to connect the grid together are just these little machine bolts. They can be anything, really, any hardware you have. What you want to do is get a drill bit that's bigger in diameter than the bolt. And then you're going to take your 4-foot lats and do 3 holes on it, a foot apart on each one. Just pop these through here. and you're going to create your lattice.
So there's no need to like drill or screw anything else, you just put the things in.
Once I have it set up, I'm going to just put 4 screws in to keep it centered on the box.
Right.
But besides that, it's pretty simple.
Okay, so now we're just nailing down a couple of the boards. These boards are wanting to split this year, so we decided to go with nails rather than screws, but you could screw it in. So once you finish the box, on to building the trellis. You need 2 rebars, 5-foot conduit pipes, 4-foot conduit pipes, corner joints, and garden trellis string. And like I said, it's a very cheap project, about $15, and all of this can be found at your local hardware store.
So for the trellis, you're going to want to use mallet and knock the rebar in. So yeah, pound it in so there's about 1 foot hanging out.
Okay. And do the same here.
And take our 2 5-foot pieces.
Mm-hmm.
They cut the pipes, sometimes the ends get pinched off, so.
You got to slide the end that fits.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 corner joints.
Uh-huh.
Pop 1 on each one. Actually, it'd probably be easier to do it. Put it on this piece first.
Yeah.
But,
that works.
and then take a screwdriver and tighten these up. But so basically what you do is you find a spot that's a corner, which is just going to have a little tie-off piece going in either direction.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're just going to tie it on.
So that's what we tied up so far. Took maybe like 3 or 4 minutes.
So once you get to the spot where you're at the edge of your trellis, you're just going to take your scissors and cut all the way down. Give yourself enough room to tie off some good knots.